Let's give people a little bit of time. So as people are joining, I'll just do a quick introduction on who I am and how this partnership has come. So
how long does it supposed to take?
We'll do an hour. Sometimes it goes less, but I feel this topic might be favorable an hour, and then whatever we can't cover, people can always reach out, I believe.
Okay, maybe you can try to see the questions that I've been asking. You can be sharing them as we proceed. Maybe you can be asking them as we proceed on their behalf.
For sure. So we can kick it off. So evening, everyone. We are at 9 attendees. Thank you very much for logging in. It's Thursday, and we all know when it comes to Forgotten But a Million, Thursday is Knowledge Thursday. So I'm sitting in for Eric. My name is Dorcas Dorito. I'm a very good friend of Eric. We have partnered before with Forgotten But a Million. My company is IHR Solution. Reason the logo is on it. And today it's all about making a successful scholarship application. And even as we settle in and we wait for your friends, and I would encourage you to ask your friend of a friend to just log in. I'll tell you today is going to be very practical in the sense that our speaker has gone through the journey of regret, rejection when it comes to applying, trying to figure out what is the right scholarship to take, to a point where it was very favorable and he had options on selecting what would work. So today, even as I introduce to you Mr. Kahinga, or just Kahinga, because I call him that, I would say he's a very focused individual who focuses on sharing knowledge, but also enriches people by driving them to know all the possibilities that they can achieve. So he's currently undertaking his PhD in the University of Waikato, New Zealand, through a scholarship. And even as we talk, as much as he's focusing on his PhD, he has done his master's in Koinkok University, South Korea, through scholarship. And he'll tell us which other scholarship he got while he was opting on taking that master's scholarship. He is also qualified for one additional scholarship, and he'll tell us more about it. But the most interesting thing is that he studied here in Dedan Kimathi and later on continued studying outside. Currently, he's in the country and he's a lecturer at JKUAT. Now, I don't want to dive so much into who Kahinga is, but I believe even as we start this session, you'll get a familiarization of what he has achieved and even the struggles he has gone through to achieve it. But the most phenomenal thing I'll tell you for sure is the drive to share information, the drive to understand how to get the information, and finally, the drive to know how to utilize the information in front of you, and the determination to know that even if you have an obstacle when it comes to scholarship application, he will give you a solution to it. So please feel free. We have our Q&A that is open. We have our chat. You can ask your question. This is actually our second session this month, and we feel it was a very favorable topic to partner with Forgotten But a Million because they focus in enriching young individuals with opportunities. And without further ado, I want to welcome Kahinga. I've also seen Eric is in the picture, which is good. So karibu sana Kahinga, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dorcas, for the opportunity and for the insightful introduction. Maybe before I proceed, because Eric has joined us and he's the driver of this forum. So Eric, I'd like you to give you an opportunity to say something before we proceed. Eric, can you hear me, Eric? Eric? Maybe as we wait for Eric, maybe I'll try to give him some time because he's one who is familiar with most of us. But nevertheless, I like to appreciate this opportunity. These are some of the meetings that are very vital, especially when you are planning for your career journey. Sometimes take time, sometimes you get discouraged, sometimes you don't even know where you are. But once we get such forums, we are able now to understand one another, understand where we are coming from and where we are heading. So my name is Kahinga, as you have heard, Kamau. My name is Kahinga Kamau, and I did my undergraduate studies at Dedan Kimathi. Later on, I joined, I went to South Korea under scholarship. By then, it was referred to as the Korean government scholarship, or what was referred to as KGSP program, where you are supposed to, you just choose for your program, and then the university or the state will suit you an university where you are supposed to undergo the training program. As you are aware, unlike in Kenya, where Swahili and English are the most predominant languages, in Korea they use Korean, and therefore it was a requirement that you need to study Korean for 1 year, not just for your studies, but it will help you to survive and whatever you need to do in there. So I did Korean language at a university called Inha in Incheon in the Seoul Metropolitan, and later proceeded to the southern part of Korea, which is Daegu, where I did my master's program. Then after I was done with my master's program in chemistry, what we refer to as computation chemistry, I was working under Samsung. I was under Samsung Research Foundation, where our intention was, or the chemistry that we were doing is not just to use machines and whatever. We were just trying to use programming and so forth to solve whatever is needed. And therefore, once I graduated from South Korea, I got a scholarship, the same institution, which is King's Scholarship. So for those people who have been there, they are aware that there are a lot of opportunities when you are well prepared. And later on, after I got another scholarship at the University of Waikato, that's where I decided now to proceed to New Zealand, where now I was awarded the Waikato University of Waikato doctoral scholarship. You can try to find online, you can people not understand more about it. And therefore, today, we are here just to help one another. There are so many questions that have been asked. So if there's something that you need to be addressed, it's good that you raise it up, we discuss together. In that now, instead of just having a one-man talk in this platform, I'd encourage us now to have a discussion. It's kind of discussion. So if you have any question that you need to be addressed, I would like now to, I'd like to not to say I need to say, but more of I need now to give to explain to you what you may need as far as scholarship are concerned. Maybe to give a very brief introduction about now the eligibility criteria for scholarship today, I would like maybe to introduce to the word scholarship. Sometimes the word scholarship is overrated because it's better to use the word financial aid, because financial aid is more better than the word scholarship. Because sometimes we are used to just being looking upon to get to focus on a way and to which our college fees or our university fees need to be paid. And one way is the scholarship, but scholarship is not the main way. So you can either have a scholarship or a grant, and this can be put in one category and which you're not supposed to pay back. Then we have others, such as loan or work study and so forth, where you are supposed to pay back. Therefore, it's of paramount for you now to understand on which path you are supposed to follow and what are the requirements. Maybe I don't know whether we need now to. I need to give the answers to the question that have been given. But I'd like to encourage you that you need to understand that scholarship application, or to be the eligibility scholarship application, is not something that you need to just focus. It's like job searching. You do not just wake up, just fill one job application and expect to be given, unless you are very lucky. And unlike most of us, where we need now to toil, you need to rebrand yourself, you need to rebrand yourself, you need to rethink an extra way, and to which you need now to bring that to yourself. Maybe I don't know whether we need to discuss about, because the question, the Matters scholarship, is a very broad topic. I don't know whether we need now to focus on the Kenyan scholarship. I don't know whether we need to rethink about the undergraduate scholarship, PhD scholarship, and everything, but I'll try to put all in one basket. And one thing, maybe I'd like to proceed, or maybe I'll try to divide this session into three. So one, we'll try now to find, we need to refocus on the pre. What do I need to prepare myself before getting the scholarship, even without even thinking about the scholarship? And this one will come along with where do I find the scholarship? How do I find the scholarship? Where do I need to start? What is needed for me now to get a scholarship? And I'll try now to put all questions that will be asked in that one. That is pre-scholarship. Then the other one is about now the scholarship. Now you have decided that I'll take this scholarship. What do I need to do? What is it required? Now, if I've decided that I'll take now this scholarship, what is needed of me, and what do I need to prepare myself? Then finally, we'll need now to talk about the post-scholarship eligibility. And this one now comes along. It's not like you have received the scholarship. You can put that one as the just part of it. But how do I prepare myself after I've received the scholarship? So I'll start with the first one about the pre-scholarship, where most of us are in. And this one comes along with one question that I've seen here. Maybe one or two questions that I've seen here is that one person has asked that what honors must one have to get a fully funded scholarship for your master's, or does KCSE matters? That is one. Then there's another student or another person who has asked about how is it possible to get an undergraduate scholarship. So I'll try now to focus on what I've said, maybe on the what do I need to prepare before. And this comes along with what I need. What do I need? If I've just completed KCSE certificate, then if I have my grades, and I'll try to give with a very good example of a scholarship, the Japanese, which is called MEX scholarship. So for that scholarship, it's somehow biased, because sometimes if you have something like A minus, they might ask you maybe to, they might encourage you to fill for a higher diploma. If you have an A, they might encourage you to start your bachelor's, but nevertheless, there are other scholarships that they are. And one thing that for you know to prepare for the pre-scholarship eligibility is that you need now to understand, where do I need to go? Because that's the first thing that you need to understand. Do I need to do my bachelor's in Kenya? Do I need to go to do my bachelor's in Europe? Do I need to do my bachelor's in South Africa? Do I need to do my bachelor's in Asia? And everything else that is needed. So the first step you need to understand is, where do I need to go? If you understand the word where, now the how now comes in. Because every place that you will require to go, they have their different categorization. Like, I can tell you for sure, we have scholarship ranging from, let me not go to the high school, because now here I'm thinking we are focusing on the university education. There are scholarships that they are being offered, there are scholarships that they even offer for undergraduate studies. And some of them, what they need, unlike in Kenya, where we only focus with KCSE, they are interested with something called GPA. And GPA comes along, instead of now having your grades between A, B, and C, they may be given in category between 0 to 4. And within 0 to 4, you need now to have, like, if you have an A, like in most cases, if we can maybe assume that A is a maybe A is 4, C is 3, D is whatever, but there is an online website which is referred to as Coraro, where you can be able now even to change by yourself because based on the different categorization that is there, and you can be able now to get that. So one thing that I'm encouraging is that don't just limit yourself with KCSE and just say that maybe KCSE or the first degree, that wherever you need to go, you need to understand, do they recognize about our education system in terms of categorization? And if you understand that, what else do they need? So for the question that I've been asked about the KCSE, do they matter? Sometimes they matter because the grade, you cannot get an E and maybe hopeful expect to get a scholarship which is merit-based, or where maybe someone you can have majority with A, B, or B, A, or C, or being majority, and therefore you'll be eliminated, even you will not be shortlisted. Therefore, you need now to prepare yourself in that. Then, second thing that you need to understand, like, is the group that, or your area of categorization or the area of interest. You'll find that there are some subjects that attract more scholarship than the other. And if, like, there's a person who have asked, like, that he's currently in fourth year pursuing history and archaeology IT, and he's planning to do a PhD program. Is planning to do a master's or a PhD through a scholarship. So one thing that you need to understand, don't ask yourself, like, will my master's or my bachelor's be accepted in this country? So one thing you need to understand is not that a country should not come first. What should come first is the criteria that is being offered for the scholarship. And maybe what I can encourage for all of us who are here is that we need now to understand that not all scholarships are not applied using the same way. And that's why I'm saying that we need to understand about the different locations or the different countries, and even you can have even different scholarship in the same country which need to be applied differently. And what we need now to put more emphasis on is about where you need to go, as I had said. Then two, you need to understand how the application procedure. And if you understand about the application procedure, now you people know to understand what do you need to put in. Maybe if I can give an example with one of the scholarship, maybe so that you can be able to understand. Like the scholarship that I got for my master's program was offered by the government. And for the government, you should not be limited by, for example, like someone is asking about if forensics can be offered as in postgraduate. Most of the time you come to find that maybe there is a course name, what is being referred in Kenya might be different from what is being referred in another country. And what you just need to do is to work on your research, on your research study. Because the research study will help you even to know the professors that you'll be attracted to, the scholarship that will be offered to. Because most of the country, they don't give specific scholarship. Like we need to give like mathematics scholarship, they need to give like geography scholarship. What they need to do, they give a wide range of like they call it a scholarship, like the scholarship that I was doing. Then they will expect that everybody will apply, and then based on the merit, whoever comes, it does not matter whether you are doing anthropology, you are doing forensic or whatever. Well, you need now to rebrand yourself in terms of from our previous, for those who are joining us today, we had discussed about most of the common the common methods of applying for a scholarship. And we said you can either apply a scholarship through the institution, or you can apply the institution now through the body that is giving the scholarship. And most of the time, in both scenarios, they will encourage you to have the following. One, you need to have your personal statement. You need to have your research methodology. You need to have now your statement, other statement that might be incorporated in the same. And one thing that I encourage the student is that most of the time we fail now to handle the personal statement. And when it comes to the personal statement addresses you, who you are, now to the scholarship providers. Who are you? What do you need to do? What do you need to do? And what is expected of you? Like, for example, if I am doing law, for example, I might have good credentials, but what do I need to do for my graduate studies? And that's where now the uniqueness of the research procedure comes along. You need to rebrand yourself and try to show that whatever you are trying to do will not just solve the international, will not solve the international problem, but it will also be narrowed down to what you are doing. That's why most of the scholarship encourages you that instead of just having just whatever you are doing, it should be brought back to your country. And that's why most of the scholarship encourages you to come back to your country and try to do whatever you are trying to do to bring it here. Like, for example, I give the other time about, we discussed about the matter of climate change. So if you are trying to think about the climate change, you can try to rethink about, because now we have the climate change is like a global problem. How can your course comes in and try to solve that? Like, for example, we are having something with food crisis. You see, when you are trying to think about something with like forensic science, you can try to rebrand yourself and try to solve. Don't just bring the course. Just try to bring the research that you are trying to do. And you can even try to find yourself doing even the course without the forensic science, but you are doing what you love doing. And that one will give you an upper hand of trying to get the scholarship. So another thing that you need to understand is about, if you understand about that, if you understand about where you need to go, how this need to be done, and this way now a question about where do I apply the scholarship? Where do I find the right link, or how do I understand about whatever? Because some people find themselves in using the scam, being scammed in terms of in matter scholarship. And as I've said, that the moment you understand about the scholarship that you need to move, you need to get. Like, for example, I'm just trying to rethink about coming up with something that I'm trying to imagine. Like, if you want to think about maybe a scholarship in US, example. So if you think about the US, there are a lot of states. You have Louisiana, there is California, there is whatever. So you need now to narrow down to what you need to understand. And if you understand about there is a scholarship that is being offered in this state, there's a high probability that people know to attest about the body that is giving the scholarship, the timeline, and everything. So if you understand that this scholarship is being offered in February, if you see someone else advertising the same in April, you'll come to understand that this is someone who is a scammer. If, like, for example, if I give an example with the Korean government scholarship, is being offered mostly in February. Most of the government scholarship in Asian countries, like in New Zealand, in whatever, they are being offered in February, between February and March. So if I find someone, that's for graduate studies, and then for the undergraduate is being offered in September. So if you're able now to understand that, you'll be able now to within that timeline, even you can be able now to try to Google that, where do I get the documents? Then you'll be able to find the people of the same caliber trying to find the same. So the probability of being scammed will be very low. So the best thing that you need to understand, try to understand the scholarship you need to apply. If you try to think about the Australian awards, like Australian award scholarship, I think yesterday was the deadline. It was supposed to be on 30th, but they extended it to yesterday. So if you are interested with a certain scholarship, being a bachelor's, being alone, being undergraduate, master's, research, or whatever, so you'll be able to understand by yourself, try to find by yourself without even feeling the scholarship. Because that's what I'm saying, that the pre-eligibility process is very important. Because it will help you to understand the scholarship you need to understand, the things you need, even without the applying. And that's why I'm trying to encourage most of the scholars that if you try to think that you need to apply for a scholarship, try to take 1 or 2 months, even before applying, and try to understand what do they need. How can this be? How can I dive into this scholarship? Do I have the right criteria? Then try to don't apply scholarship alone. Try to find a group. If you want to find a master's scholarship, try to find other people, like 2 or 5, between 2 to 5 people, and then you'll be able to discuss. So in that, if a scholarship, if you find something, try to share with them. Ask them, is this the right way to follow, and so forth. Something else that I may need, it's of very paramount, is about you need to understand the difference between a partial and a full scholarship. And that's where now I say that sometimes the scholarship can come along these pathways, and sometimes you may fail to take them based because you may think that they may take more than is expected.
I think
So
the
what we
other
need to,
thing,
yes,
sorry to cut you short. I remember there is something you mentioned in our previous sessions about when you are sourcing for a scholarship. It's always good to track all the scholarships you're applying for, because you need to know when they open, when they close. And the most critical bit I like about that aspect is knowing when to apply, because now that we're in April, you need to know which university is open for that, so that you know how long you take to prepare documentation, and therefore you don't rush it, and you review, you eliminate the scammers, you eliminate those that you may not be interested in, but you have clarity on where you want to study. Yes, I remember you mentioning that. And I don't know if you can dive into your Excel sheet that you had to create with your friends that guided you in achieving some of these things.
Okay, maybe if I can I be able to share a document here with the attendees?
Let me put you should be able to share now. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, maybe for that clarification, because that's what is the first thing you need to understand. That you need to understand you need to track. Maybe let me try to share. Maybe they'll be able to add it. Let me try to share. So the document that I'm trying to share it can be able now to guide you during the pre-initial scholarship eligibility. I hope I have shared. Maybe I hope maybe the attendees will be able now to get. So you'll come to understand that within the document that as you can see from the document, is that if you have not to track the scholarship, there are several things that you need to understand. The university that you need to go, the kind of a scholarship you need to attend, the university, the program, when the course starts. Don't worry about whatever is here, but my point is try to focus on the scholarship part, the link. Then the subject that's being offered, whether it is being master's, PhD, undergraduate, funding, and so forth. Because now with the help of a search document, you'll be able to understand about when do I need to apply for this scholarship, what is needed, which scholarship are needed. And that's why I was just trying to say that you need to understand. So if you want to, if you're interested in a US institution, you'll not be focusing on like group of scholarship in the Uppsala University in Sweden. Like the New Zealand scholarship for international students, you can see there are a lot. They range from undergraduate, PhD. We have like for bachelor, there is an emerging global leader scholarship, which is being offered from American University, Washington, DC. So you will be able to find if you're interested with a PhD program. You can be able to see that we have like Singapore International Award, Singapore International Graduate Award, and so forth. So the best thing that will help you now to understand this, and that's why I've shared. Maybe I hope maybe the attendees will be able to get the document. So these are some of the things that you need to help yourself before you start filling the scholarship. And that's why I'm emphasizing that the initial step is very important. The initial stage, which we refer to as the pre-scholarship eligibility step, is very important, because this is where you need to understand, where do I need to go? Which scholarship do I need to apply, even you have not applied? And then you need to understand that how else do I need now to dive into this scholarship? So timeline is very important. The requirement documents are very important, and then understanding where you need to go is of paramount. And then there's something else. There is another question as I proceed with explaining what I may have. We may be asked. I've been asked to give. We have some scholarship or partial scholarship that we may have in Kenya. So I'd like maybe to answer this question using the simplest way possible, because this question, when we try to think about how we may try to fund our scholarship, well, we are here in Kenya, I can try to answer this one in 3 ways. One way is I've found this one common with Kenyan University, that if you are maybe trying to do your PhD here, the university, maybe where you are doing, I don't know whether there are some funding that comes through the lab that you are, or the research that you are doing, but if not, so most of the university can help you to give you some. Refer to them. They can even give you to some part-time job, and with the help of this part-time job, they might fail to pay you instantly. Therefore, you can convert that part of the money in other ways. But another way is that you can definitely find some scholarship, not just in Kenya. We refer to them as sandwich programs. And for the sandwich programs, is a program that you'll be able to find a scholarship, not just like a full, fully funded scholarship. It's a scholarship into which, in your part, it will be now integrated with your course. You try to find another supervisor from outside, or the funding maybe outside, and even the national research. The National Research Organization, they even have such brands. But they try to, because the main aim is to encourage the young scientists to continue with their research. And you see, when you are doing your thesis, it's more of research than the coursework itself. And therefore, maybe I'll encourage, maybe you can try to think about maybe maybe based on the program that you are doing. If, for example, you are doing like project management, project planning management, you might try to think about other universities outside and try to link with them. Try to find, try to write about, because there are some scholarship. There is a scholarship that was sent to me by a friend last time, where they were encouraging people to have to merge your program with their program. Maybe they may support you in whatever you are doing, but I know that such scholarships are there, where now you can sandwich, you can do a program which is being funded from another university, but you can still graduate it from here. And then the other way is that you can be able now to find, based on the research that you are doing, you can be able now to find your own funding, or not your own funding. You can be able now to attract the donors based on what you are doing. For example, you can be able now even to approach the international organization based on what you can help them, and in return, they might help you with funding whatever you are doing if it coincides with the organization mission and vision. There's a high probability that you can be able now to be to get that scholarship. I think maybe because of interest of time, maybe you can be able to link with the person who asked that question, and then we can try to see how we can be able now to propel. We can be able to propel the same. Finally, once you are done with the pre-eligibility path, now we move now to the second part about now the scholarship itself. And that's when now, during the scholarship itself, this is where now you need now to be guided. Because you can have a first class and miss a scholarship. Someone else with a second class upper get the same opportunity with ease. And I'll try maybe to give an example with one of the scholarships that maybe you may know, maybe Chevening or maybe any state-based scholarship. So if you want now to focus on whatever is being needed, you need to come up with a very good, now when you have identified that maybe focusing on this scholarship, maybe I want to move to Saudi Arabia or to Australia or to Singapore, I need now to focus on this scholarship. So you need now to understand about their timeline. And that's why within the booklet that I've shared with you, you can see that there's some timeline. You can see there is timeline. There is whether it's fully funded, whether you are looking for a PhD or master's or whatever. So within the scholarship period application, you need now to focus on if you understand the timeline, when is it being offered, then the things that they require. And one of the things that they may need is, apart from the personal statement, they may need that you may have once you are done with your personal statement, they may require you to have something like research proposal. If you are done with your research proposal, they may ask you for the recommenders. And for the recommenders, you need to notify them earlier than expected, because you see, if you don't meet the requirement earlier, you may find yourself being locked out. And the other things such as language requirement, sometimes these are things that we overlook. Like you need to prove to those people who are giving you the scholarship that you are proficient in the English or in any other language that you may be interested with. And there are some languages that they need to be done. And most of the languages, such as TOEFL, IELTS, and so forth, I think we as Kenyans, we are very favored, because you will find that you are asked to go and do a certain exam, but the problem is not that you're not understanding the language. The problem is the time or the money. And that's why I'm urging you that you need to prepare yourself earlier. Some of these exams are somehow expensive. Like, I remember in my case, those days I paid for TOEFL, it was like 25,000 for just one exam, not even going to class. So I'm just trying to say you need to plan yourself earlier and so forth. Then something else I've been asked before even I proceed with explaining what I'm saying is, how do we come up with a good, proper statement of purpose? Or in a way, what is a statement of purpose? So sometimes statement of purpose may the statement of purpose may sometimes be confused together with the personal statement. And maybe what I can say, maybe I don't know whether I have we have enough time. Maybe I have encouraged or I would have give an example of a statement of purpose from another for various scholarship. But for statement of purpose, I'll put it together. Maybe you can have it, the statement of purpose and the personal statement. Sometimes they go hand in hand. So the best thing that we need now to understand about how to come up with a good statement of purpose is that we need to understand why is statement of purpose important. Because if you have a very good statement of purpose, it will help you now to come up with a very good. It will help you now to decide when the scholarship is being offered. And one of the things that I need to understand, most of us think that if you ask about yourself in matter scholarship, we always think about the financial background, that you need now to prove to them that the background is very important. But sometimes, for you now to qualify for your scholarship, the other aspects that are very important, such as the personal background. We need to think about the professional experience. You may think about the intermediate, long-term goals. You might think the reason why you need to study in a given institution, the reason why your field is of great essence, and that's why I talk about the research. Sometimes you might even go an extra mile, and you can even try to think about the extracurricular activities. And if, for those who are doing PhD or masters, sometimes you may be asked to talk about your research background. And for the research background, you need now to talk about the papers that you have written or the books you have written or whatever. So I think these are some of the things that you need to include in your statement of purpose, because this is what elevates you from the rest. And apart now from telling or showing the people who are offering the scholarship that they need to give you, you need to show them that you need now to understand what you need to show them that the scholarship that is being offered, you are the right candidate. You are not just thinking about being the best candidate, but you might show them from your writing skills, because that is of great essence. So most of the times, do we need a statement of purpose when applying for undergraduate program? Do you think yes or no? I think it's very important. But the best thing, when you are focusing, maybe you are dealing with the undergraduate, you should think about the short-term goal, because now you know that when you are doing undergraduate, the statement of purpose may only highlight on a small aspect of your life, such as the extracurricular activities, motivation for career aspiration, and sometimes if internship. But most of because I don't know whether the majority here, I'm seeing the question are from the graduate school, the SOP is very important, because when you are dealing with your master's or PhD, it should show that you are short and long-term career personal goals, which are very important. If you want to do this course, why do I need to do this course, and how will it have or the impact will it have in future? Then you need now to show the evidence of your professional achievement. And in terms of personal achievement, you need to show how you have elevated yourself, not just in class. In terms of the things that you have done after you are done with school, maybe you have worked with this team, you have added these skills in your skill set in your portfolio and so forth. And then finally, you need now to focus on the career expectation from any of the institution. And if you have some of the voluntary work, you can be able even to put them in your statement of purpose. Therefore, maybe we can we can try now to focus on, maybe when we may have another session, we might divide them into maybe each, we be specific. Like if it's personal statement, we can try to see how do we write a personal statement, what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, and what are some of the things that the recommenders may be interested with. If it's something like a research proposal, you may try to think about your career path, and then we can be able now to think how we can be able now to define that whatever we have discussed. So maybe what I'm seeing, the time is not on our side. I go to the last part, then me not focus on about this, what you need to do about the scholarship, because it's just a matter of writing or you having your documents ready. So most of the time you're asked to give the notarized document. Most of us, or the original document. Either you give the notarized document, or you need to show them that whatever you are giving is the truth information. And for the for your document to be original or to be accepted for the scholarship, they need to be verified in the following ways. One, you need, especially I'm trying to give this one in a Kenyan context. You need to take the documents, you have a photocopy, you take them to your university, the exam office. The exam office will give you a stamp to show that this person was here and these are the original copy. Then you take now those documents to the Minister of Education. I think all these processes, maybe I want to give a personal experience from my former university. It was free, but there are some universities that will be asked to pay something depending on where you are. Then you take them to the Minister of Education, where they ask them for free of charge. And now, based on where you need to go, if you need to go now to, for example, in New Zealand, if you need to go to somewhere like Asia or whatever, you may take your documents to the embassy. And for the embassy, that's where now they'll stamp, and then you can use now the document. They'll be accepted, whatever you need to send them. Then apart from that, you need now to put all documents in order, whatever is being needed, try ensure that you have them. There are other scholarship that may ask you to have the passport and so forth, but those are things that maybe you can be able now to negotiate. You can be able now to fill and then be able now to negotiate later. Then when you move on to the last part about the post scholarship. Now this where now we need now to talk about the if you have received the scholarship, you have been shortlisted, what are things that you need to prepare before? And this now where now we try to think about now the interviews, the question that we need to ask and so forth. And that's why I'm encouraging you very, very seriously that you need to come up with a very good CV. Your CV is very important because if you have applied for a certain role, the research proposal you have included there, you have said I did this and this, then ensure that you are explaining, whatever you are explaining can be seen from your CV, such that when if you have said that I applied, I was working here, this was my thesis. So those are some of the things that you need to focus on. In that, during the interview, they'll be able now to bring the connection between the application document and yourself. Whatever you wrote in the application document, is it being relayed on whatever you are doing? And that's what I'm saying, that you need now to rethink about whatever the journey that you have gone through, now try to bring it now into realization. And that's where now you need now to refocus, you bring the connection between your CV, the personal statement, and also you'll connect it with your research proposal. And I think those are some of the questions that I asked during the interview when you get a scholarship. Some of the scholarship may not proceed to the interview, or maybe give you an email where you need to write some essays. And these things need to be guided. These things need to be addressed with whatever it entails. So I think maybe for the scholarship, those are some of the things that I may encourage you to focus on. The pre, I've said for the pre, you focus on what you need. The scholarship you need, and whatever is needed. Then during the scholarship, now you put whatever now you think or whatever is needed into practice. You need to have your document ready, your CV, your recommenders need to be ready. Everything that is needed need to be ready. If it's the exam that is needed, if it's passport, you need to prepare for them. Then finally, for the scholarship, if you have received several scholarships, now you are the one now to decide. Sometimes you get, sometimes you lose. But if you are well prepared, that's why I'm encouraging, try to find someone who have gone through the process. If you are applying for this scholarship, try to find someone who have gone through that process successfully. Because by maybe trying to do what he or she did, even if you don't get the scholarship, you will come to understand that a scholarship is a journey. You may miss one scholarship and get another scholarship that maybe you did not have in mind. Before I got my first scholarship, I had applied for more than 20, and I had reject, and reject. But within that process, being a journey, now you are able now to go through whatever is needed. And I hope maybe with that, unless maybe you have some questions that I needed to address, I think maybe I have articulated all the things that we may need for a scholarship. And I have shared, I hope maybe you have seen the scholarship guide or scholarship opportunities on how you need now to rebrand yourself. Before you start, try to find the scholarship, the name of the scholarship, where it's being offered specifically. Don't just think that it's being offered in this university or this university. Try to find which university is offering and what they need. And I think with that, it will help you now to move along the scholarship journey successfully.
I must say you have shared a lot, and I must say you have been detailed in the aspects that we sometimes assume become our obstacles. The most crucial thing I would say is understanding what you're looking for and not being in a rush so that you eliminate the scammers. The other takeaway I would say I've greatly taken heed is on knowing the other people who are sourcing for scholarships so that you are able to capitalize on that and therefore expand your reach in terms of what you're looking for. And then thirdly, it's in regards to the test and the cost. As you've said, if you look at it as a financial aid, then this should not be a limit. So for me, Kahinga, even just taking out those 3 points, I would say it is possible to get a scholarship. And then overthinking might get us not to get the scholarship. And also with the document you've given us for the scholarship opportunities, which I'll also share on email for everyone who had registered, and also with 4BM, I believe it will be a starting point guidance. But a great opportunity, I must say, is what you have said in regards to breaking down the aspects to be looked at individually. So if it's the personal statement, knowing that, okay, if I'm applying for a master's, a PhD, or an undergraduate, what kind of personal statement do I need? And I feel that that's a separate discussion where you have 2-3 sub themes where we can focus on, and then looking at how do you tackle the issue of exams that you need to do, you don't have the money, but you really want to apply for a scholarship there. And then also identifying the correlation with what you're going to study and how you're going to come and apply it at home. And I think sometimes that's where we get the disconnect, because if you ask me, Kahinga, 2, 3, or maybe 10 years down the line, I would have really wanted to stay out of the country. But looking at the opportunities that I can create even here where I am, I now know I can go study outside, create opportunities outside, and also come and create opportunities here at home where we encourage people to create jobs. So if it's possible, we'll reach out with the admins for Forgotten Bottom Million, and then we can try and see how we can push this narrative in terms of the discussion of scholarship and break it down into 3 areas. But I would encourage every person listening, if you can please reply back to the email that was indicated in the registration, put your question. We have shared Kahinga's question, and also we have shared the document on chat. The same will be sent, and I've put his email on the chat for everyone. to access it. So you can feel free, reach out to him. This is not his first time to interact with different people in regards to scholarship. So don't feel that you're throwing so much on him. What I would say is be a little bit clear on what the question would be, and therefore it will be very easy on how you can reach out to. Caroline, you've said you don't know about Forgotten Bottom Million. The link that allowed you to join, if you saw the PDF document, I'll just pull out another PDF document that you can link in and then pick it up. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. And I hope everyone has been assisted and supported in where they need to know in regards to scholarship. Caroline, I will send you Eric's number, who will be able to assist you in joining the Forgotten Bottom Million, as they always share a lot of opportunities when it comes to scholarships. And therefore, you'll be able to pick it up and see what else you can learn from them, even as they share more additional information. I've sent to you, Caroline, so you can just reach out to Eric and you will be assisted. Thank you, everyone. And it has been a good evening. We will share a link of the recording, and also I will send on email the document. Any parting words, Kahinga, please?
Maybe from what you have said, that I may need to reach out. It's better maybe they may, if someone is approaching with matters scholarship, I like maybe for them to identify themselves. Which category are you in? Are you in the pre-step, or are you applying for the scholarship? Have you identified the scholarship? Or are you trying now to find out how to maneuver through a given scholarship? That one will be of great essence, because now that one will help the team that we are working on to think about how we can help. And even it will even help us, it will be a guide on if in future we plan for the same, be able to have the targeted group in terms of the right information. Then you need now to identify yourself, whether you are looking for undergraduate, postgraduate. Those are some of the things that they may feel like obvious, but with as far as now we are thinking about the eligibility and how to get the scholarship, it will even help us now to form the journey, or even to join for the other groups. We have been having several groups apart from whatever we are doing here, and I can see some of my students, I can see them here. And I can tell you that even there are some of, we started with some students who were very green as in matter scholarship. And I can tell you that nowadays they are doing wonders. Some of them, they are actually about to, they're in the final process. So no wonder where the process you are in, feel free to say it out so that we can try to see how we can help you through the process. So I think with that, Dorcas, thank you so much for this opportunity you have given me. I know that I might not be the qualified, but you saw that I was fit to have to take you through this session. So thank you so much.
Most welcome. I must say, it's always on the simple conversation from peer to peer that we get to learn a lot, and also it opens up for people to participate. So I would highly encourage anyone who can find time to just listen to Kahinga. I don't find so many people who are willing to share such incredible information. So from us, Forgotten Bottom Million, Knowledge Thursday, I would say it's a big thank you, and we look forward to hosting you again in regards to helping our members actually get scholarship. And the good thing, Kahinga, I must say, is people come back and they say that they've gotten the scholarship. So it's a good track record where we're able to keep the numbers running and just checking on how important and how vital this session was. So thank you and have a good evening, everyone. Much appreciated.